That 7-day. There we go.
Let's save it.
I didn't want to show all the triple digits
just
yet.
Hold it up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's early. Desert Inn in Paradise, we're looking at a wide open light commute right now. Just a reminder, this is another cone zone. Paradise has 2 projects. They're widening it and resurfacing it. The resurfacing, repaving will be done in November. The widening not till summer 2011. All our freeways are looking just fine and wide open right now. We'll skip freeway shots and go right to our Beat the Traffic maps. I do want to point out a bit of a situation. Airport connector, northbound travelers, 7 p.m. tonight until 5 a.m. this morning, and then again Wednesday night tonight, last night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. You have delays, you'll have flaggers out there, you'll have detours. You might want to avoid your northbound trip through the tunnel. Now, you still can get to Tropicana if you do this, if you move north here, but you might want to consider just using I-15 or Eastern because you do have delays as they continue to work on all those roads north of the tunnel like Swenson. So slow down there. It's going to be tonight and Thursday night as well as last night. This is good news, though. Decatur is extended between Blue Diamond and 215. It was supposed to be this weekend, Labor Day weekend, and Melissa and Chris, there it is, they opened early. Not bad at all.
That's always good news. Thanks, Brian.
Refrigerator or dishwasher?
One we have is working, but you never know. It might stop. And Sherry mentioned the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. That will actually be connected to our Driving You Crazy today. When will all this pavement rehab get going? A lot of people are getting ticked off. It was supposed to start, and it hasn't. So here we are on the first day of summer. Where's that summer project that was supposed to begin? One accident at Las Vegas Boulevard's Silverado Ranch. We'll just go one camera, quick look at airport. First, US 95 in Valley View. I'm sorry about that. That's up there showing you your wide open freeway commute. And now we'll look at Harrah's Airport Connector traveling northbound through all kinds of construction, 7 p.m. until 5 a.m. It's still going on right now, and it'll kick back into gear tonight and tomorrow night. There are lane closures and restrictions. You might want to consider your alternates. Over to you, Chris and Melissa. At some point, it'll just stay cool, and we will all be, well, at least those of us that are ready for it will be delighted. Silverado Ranch and Las Vegas Boulevard, that accident seems like it's on South Point private property, so heads up if that's your casino of choice. There is an accident right there. Let's go to the first camera. I'm going to show you a little bit more about Airport Connector. If you're traveling through northbound, you're going to see flaggers, you're going to see detours, you're going to see lane closures. My advice is take Eastern or I-15 and avoid it from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m., so about another half hour right now, and then again tonight and tomorrow night. They're doing more work here on all those roads north of the tunnel. US 95 and Craig, you also have those lane restrictions. You can see right here northbound because of the widening project. You're missing a lane there on your left, and one more fast cam for you. I-15 and Owens, I do want to point out you have 4 new message boards in this area to kind of give you a heads up about what's ahead, at least when they're working. We covered one that wasn't yesterday and driving you crazy. When will this economy in Las Vegas improve? Here's Chris.
All right, thanks a lot, Brian.
I'm not going to lie, I don't notice change.
Yeah.
You didn't notice it? I didn't notice it either.
The desk is the same. Been there since, since Kennedy.
I guess I didn't pay that much attention before, so.
Did they know about it?
No, he said when
like extreme home makeover
comes in and does it all, and you come back.
And then they walk, I hate it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Take it all away.
Looks good to me. It looks like very comfortable
couches.
couches.
The couches look comfy more than anything.
I think we get up too early because I look at that couch and go, boy, I'd love to nap there.
You'd love to be there right now.
That looks comfortable. Traffic has got you zipping along right now, except northbound through the connector. Overnight construction continues until 5 a.m. today, and then back into gear tonight, 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. and tomorrow night. You'll see flaggers, you'll see detours, you'll see lane restrictions as you move north through the tunnel. Now, you can get to Tropicana, but you're just going to have to take a little bit longer to do so because of all this work that's going on. They're working on all those roads north of the tunnel, and all of this northbound work should be done by September. One stage of the construction there, the Terminal 3 work. Looking at our first fast cam right now, US 95 and Rainbow Curve. If you're traveling from right here to the Spaghetti Bowl, our next fast cam, it's going to take you a quick 5 to 6 minutes. Our speeds are high, averaging over the 60s. Only accident Las Vegas Boulevard and Silverado Ranch, and that is on South Point property, so it's not affecting direct Las Vegas Boulevard traffic. So you're zipping along throughout your freeway commute right now. Please buckle up, drive safely. I hope you have a terrific day. Here is Sherry Sherry with the weather.
All righty, it is so nice outside. Look at those dew points, Brian. They're down to 30 degrees with temperatures almost more than twice as much. So that means the air is nice and dry. Mesquite at 68 degrees feels wonderful up there in northeast Clark County. Summerlin, West Alta, Palo Verde High School at 69 degrees, and Lucille Bruner Elementary School, Allen and Craig doing just fine at 75. We're going to be warming up just a little bit more each and every day. We've got high pressure rebuilding for us in the west, and that's our story as we warm up and we watch the East Coast bracing for Hurricane Earl. Right now a Category 3, and it looks like it's going to maintain that, possibly even increase to a Category 4 slightly before it heads towards the East Coast. Right now it looks like the Outer Banks of North Carolina could actually get a pretty good brush by with Hurricane Earl by tomorrow, and then Maine could sustain some 100 to plus mile per hour winds as it heads right over New England and on up to a northerly path. So we're really going to watch Earl. This could be a very strong storm, and while it may not be a direct hit, I think it is going to lash out with some pretty good winds and storm surge there. 98 degrees for us this afternoon, so we're going to be pretty warm, warmer than we've been for the last several days, but right about normal for us as we start off September today. Pretty much some light winds, and we get those triple digits back. Been trying to prepare you for that because I know this little fall snap that we had has been wonderful, but we heat up pretty quickly. In fact, up to 105 now for Friday. Some neighborhoods will be 106, 7, even maybe 108, and then we get breezy on Sunday and Monday, and that will help pull those temperatures back down into the 90s. It is the 1st of September, so we're changing our watering schedule to the fall watering schedule for September, October. We're back to 3 assigned days a week, and there's still no watering between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. So make sure those sprinkler clocks are set to the right hours of the day. So Melissa, Chris, 105, still not, it's still a little too hot to be watering during the middle of the day.
That's true, but you have done a good job of preparing us, Sherry.
Well, I try to remind everybody. Friendly reminders.
I know the cooler weather was a good fake out for a while.
It was.
Well, students, just like that too, Brian. Did you know that?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Sounds like fun-tastic.
Yeah.
Fun-tastic. That's what the champagne tasted like. It was fun-tastic. Airport connector is not quite that word. It's not fantastic. What you have going on is the roads north of the tunnel are being worked on until 5 a.m. So a few more minutes there, but then it kicks back into gear tonight, 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. and tomorrow night, 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. So if you take Wayne Newton or Swenson Street, you'll see detours and closures there. You can get from north of the tunnel to Tropicana, but you will see flaggers and you will have some detours. So plan for some extra time, or take Eastern or I-15 as your overnight alternate. That work again done at 5 a.m. I-15 in Flamingo, there's your southbound movement and northbound, and it's just fine. We don't have fast cams in our resort corridor stretch right now. They're working on them, so we have to use our sky cams. That's why we haven't been showing fast cams there. But nonetheless, we got a good overhead bird's eye view here to show us those open roads. Checking in with Sherry and the temps.
Oh, it's nice outside. A little chilly once you get outside the valley. We've got mostly 70s in the valley with a couple of neighborhoods flirting with 60s. And we're down to the low 60s in Pahrump. Check out those mid 50s in Alamo. Up into Lincoln County, even some 40s and 50s. 58 right now in Mesquite, or 68, excuse me, in Mesquite. I didn't clean my contacts. And then 73 down in Laughlin this morning. Over into Arizona, 63 in Kingman. Good morning to all the folks out there. I know you watch every morning. We appreciate that. 83 in Sandy Valley. That seems awfully mild this morning. I have a feeling you got a bug in your thermometer there in Sandy Valley. We're going to have to get that cleaned out for you. Let's check our Wednesday. A warmer day for us. We're going to make it into the low 90s by noon now. And as we expected, a warm up is coming in for Labor Day weekend. 98 for us for our Wednesday. Thank you. Thursday, we get back to those triple digits, even as hot as 105 by Friday. Winds are going to pick up now on Sunday. It looks like later Sunday, so most of the weekend should be fine. But just if you have plans outdoors for Labor Day Monday, looks like it's going to be breezy to windy, but that'll help cool us back down by Tuesday. Melissa, Chris? Show you the path of Earl coming up in just a few minutes.
Back to the 90s. We're going to go to the 90s. 95 in Charleston is just fine, but that's not the case at Tropicana. We don't have a camera right at US 95, 515 in Tropicana. However, I do want to point out there's road debris that's actually causing traffic to have to move around it and slow down northbound 515 95 at Tropicana. It's causing a little bit of a delay. They're working on removing that debris as we speak right now. So again, that's at 515 95 in Tropicana. If you're traveling there, look for a little bit of a slowdown as you move through. One more fast cam, I-15 and Lake Mead. 2 points I want to make here. The bridge joint work is all done, so those lane restrictions we've dealt with the past 2.5 weeks are no longer. And also you have new dynamic message boards that are up in this stretch, 4 of them in this stretch of I-15 north of the Spaghetti Bowl, as well as 9 new ramp meters, which are hopefully going to help along with the commute and keep it as fast as possible. Over to you, Melissa and Chris.
In a hurry, one of Nevada's 7 candidates for governor wants to put a price on the privilege to speed.
A nonpartisan candidate, Eugene Gino DeSimone, reportedly thinks drivers should have the right to put the pedal to the metal if they pay to do it. It's part of a budget solution he says could put up to $1 billion extra a year back into the state's coffers. And I know, Brian, you probably wouldn't appreciate that many speeders out on the road, right?
No. Not a good idea.
That's tough. That's tough. I mean, how can you pay for speed? That's just dangerous. Come on.
Here's the thing. Our roads are dangerous enough. And if somebody's like, hey, I feel like going, 120, I'm going to throw down some dough, and I'm going to drive 120, they're just going to get more dangerous. That's my humble opinion. Airport Connector's doing just fine right now, but I do want to point out back tonight at 7 p.m. until 5 a.m. Construction kicks back in. It's the roads north of the tunnel, a little bit of detour and delay. If you're going to Tropicana, you still can get there. It's just going to take longer. There's flaggers there. And as I said, detours and delays, so you might want to consider Eastern or I-15 northbound tonight. Charleston and US 95 is looking just fine, but I want to point out US 95 and Tropicana does have that road debris that's actually causing traffic to slow and move around it. Don't have a camera right on it, but we do have reports from our scanner traffic about what's going on there. So heads up if you're traveling through the area. And US 95 in Rancho, our speeding camera that we just showed, and you can see traffic speeding along, but apparently they didn't pay to go fast. They're going about 65, 70, not over 100. It's time for Living Green with Sherry Swensk.
Valley parents ticketed for walking their kids to school, they're fighting back.
The NAACP says Las Vegas police are discriminating against a low-income area near Booker Elementary.
Most of the children at Booker are on free and reduced lunch, so most of the parents are in economically challenged situations.
Officers in front of the school have been slapping parents with jaywalking citations. Now parents are demanding the tickets be dismissed. Metro admits it's only conducting enforcements around 25 schools, but says it's not because of race or income, but because of past problems. The enforcement continues this morning.
Brian, we've been talking about school zones, and last week when we did this story, Metro says there was a zero tolerance policy. But yesterday when we saw Ken up in Chopper talking to some school zones, or covering school zone Cimarron, they let somebody go.
I was not happy about that.
Yeah.
In fact, I was about to give the officer a round of applause when Ken announced they let the person go. My feeling is, hey, if people, there's so many accidents with pedestrians. It's such a popular driving you crazy topic. If somebody's kind of rushing through a crosswalk when somebody's walking in it, get them that ticket because really it does increase safety. That's got to be our point. Airport Connector moving northbound. You have more construction tonight, 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. It's the roads north of the tunnel that are affected. Swenson Street, for example, Wayne Newton also. You still can get northbound towards Tropicana. Just going to take you a little bit longer. Again, 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. tonight and tomorrow night. Nothing going on here unless this is your intersection on the way to your job today. Charleston and Grand Central Parkway moving just fine. And 215 and Jones is zipping along. 215 always so light in the morning. And actually throughout the day usually, unless there is any type of accident. We're going to send it over now to Sherry for weather.
Where I think the confusion comes in is once those people get past your car and they continue on, are you supposed to sit and wait for them to continue through, or can you go? And I think that's where people get confused. So I believe you're supposed to sit there. Is that right, Brian? And let them go all the way across?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. But I think a lot of people think, well, they're past my car. I can go on now. So anyway, we covered that in a Driving You Crazy. Well, I don't think the weather's driving anybody crazy. It's been absolutely beautiful. Look how nice and clear it is out there. So pretty. Winds are light. We've got mostly 70s, so a little bit milder than we've been the last few mornings, but a couple of neighborhoods trying to find some 60s out there. We'll finish off warmer for our first day of September. In fact, right about where we should be in those upper 90s, 98 degrees today. We are going to be following Hurricane Earl, where they have mandatory evacuations now for parts of the Outer Banks of the Carolinas, and places even like Boston will be looking at possible repercussions from Earl, and not a direct hit, but some very very rough winds by the time they get to Labor Day weekend. So now looks pretty calm there as we have a live picture from the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Lady just sitting on the beach. Looks like she's about to do some knitting or reading a book. So she better get the heck out in the next 24 hours because it's not going to be such a calm picture when Earl comes barreling by. We'll take a look at Earl's path and, of course, our holiday weekend coming up just a little bit. Chris,
we'll
Melissa.
See how she progresses with her knitting, right? Thanks a lot, Sherry.
And a reminder, Valley Police Departments are teaming up in one of the largest Labor Day weekend DUI crackdowns.
And it's already started. It's going to last through Labor Day, which is September 6th. So if you're out there, even if it's not a holiday, just don't drink and drive. It's not that hard. Not that hard to do.
But our Valley roads looking pretty good this morning, right, Brian?
Absolutely. Always, hey, you can always call a cab. You know?
That's true.
There you go. Flamingo and Las Vegas Boulevard, Valley Road's looking good, Melissa. We do have an accident right here. Can't pinpoint the exact location from our fast cam, but do want to give you a heads up. It's overnight construction in this area, and then once that ends, we have our morning accident, a very busy intersection. Next fast cam is I-15 in Cheyenne. A lot of cars out, but no slowdowns. Traffic is moving along northbound and southbound without issue. Bank of America cam shows US 95 in Jones. This is your eastbound movement, a little bit heavier as all that traffic heads towards I-15, marching towards the Spaghetti Bowl. I do want to point out that obstruction at 515 northbound and Tropicana has been cleared, and want to take a look at a great cause coming up September 11th. You got to jump in and join us over at this event, Exploration Park in Mountain's Edge. You can just go to 8newsnow.com and put on the keyword race to register, or if you'd like to donate, it's a 5K and 1 mile run or walk, and it is for a great cause, candlelighters, helping families of children with cancer. I'll be there. Can't wait to help them out a little bit. Sherry, have you ever run a 5K?
I've never run a 0.5K. No, but it's a great event. I was out there last year with Chet Buchanan from KLUC, and it's really, really fun. And so many kids out there that candlelighters really helps. So if you can donate, or if you can get out there, hopefully we'll get that weather cooled down for you, Brian, so it'll be a nice weekend. Beautiful morning out there with nice clear skies, and as we check out, we do have, well, Indian Springs is stuck. I know it's not 82 up there. It's in right around 60 degrees. Here in the valley, we've got 68 Mojave and Bonanza, 73 Warm Springs and Green Valley Parkway. We're on our way to a warmer day as we check out our headlines this morning. Dry and normal today, right around 98 to 99 degrees, and that's where we should be for the 1st of September. But once we head towards Friday and the weekend, we're back up over 100 degrees. Winds return Saturday through Tuesday with upper 90s back by Labor Day, thanks to a cool system blowing in. And then it looks like we'll stay dry too. Absolutely no rain in the 7-day forecast. So Melissa and Chris, we're going to keep this dry spell going, but at least we won't stay too hot for too long. Just a few days coming up.
Sherry, there is light at the end of the tunnel. We're told the road work north of the Airport Connector Tunnel will be done in September. But until then, Ken's up in Chopper 8 to let us know about some issues we'll have, including tonight and tomorrow night. Ken.
That's right. Last night we actually had some lane restrictions here on the northbound side of the airport connector, mainly on the one side here as you head toward the various terminals. You can see all these little cones. They were earlier out here blocking a number of lanes. Now they've all been moved off to the side of the roadway, and in the process of trying to get rid of some of these cones here, a little bit late picking these up this morning. But the bottom line is expect lane restrictions northbound, not on the airport bypass section over here, but if you're actually heading to the terminals from 9 o'clock at night till 5 a.m. Tomorrow morning. That'll be both tonight and tomorrow night, so bear that in mind. Also, I spotted an accident bright and early here. We just took off in Chopper 8 and saw this accident on Flamingo westbound, just approaching Las Vegas Boulevard, right near the Flamingo Hotel, and you can see the Metro folks out there doing a little bit of an investigation, doing their measurements. But the bottom line, a couple of cars involved in an accident, and it's blocking the right-hand lane. Brian, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks for the update, Ken. Airport Connector, again, you can get north through the tunnel and go to Tropicana, but there will be some flaggers there and some detours, and those taking, Swenson or Wayne Newton, you'll start to have a little bit of that slowdown as you move through. Heads up. 62 and 63 at Interstate 15 in Sahara. Let's check some speeds on the east side of town. Charleston Curve, northbound 72, southbound 64, 515, 95. We had that slowdown earlier because of road debris at Tropicana. Not an issue anymore. Moving up to 72 as you move northbound on 515, 95 and 215 in Eastern. Usually not an issue here unless there's an accident. A range of 66 to 60. That will work. Live outside, Ken gave us a little bit of of a better look here of that accident in Flamingo and Las Vegas Boulevard, so we'll move by that camera. We've had that documented. We'll go to I-15 in Cheyenne, where we're seeing good movement northbound and southbound. Keep your eyes up for some more dynamic message signs in these areas. There's 4 new signs that got unveiled yesterday, as well as 9 ramp meters in this stretch of I-15 north of the Spaghetti Bowl. We'll check in now with Chris and Melissa.
All right, thanks, Brian.
It's day 3 of back to school, and it's getting going at Silverado High School at Spencer and Serene, where we have a little, what is it, band practice going on there, Ken, already starting with a bang.
Yeah, it is starting with a bang down here below us here. A lot of activity going on right in the middle of the football field down below us at Silverado Ranch High School, or Silverado High School rather, near the Silverado Ranch neighborhood down here below us, right off of Serene this morning, and you can see all the activity going on down here. You know, part of the first week of school, we were checking out the school zone, 15 miles an hour up and down the area around Serene, and you're going to find so far no major issues in this general vicinity this morning as you make that journey around the area of Silverado High School this morning. But that's the latest from up here. We're just kind of watching to see the kids come into class, and a lot of activity as everybody's getting introduced to the first week of school at all the Clark County schools. We'll send it back to you.
It couldn't be any busier week for those students, teachers, and of course parents. It's been a busy week for you, I know. Looking live outside at your first Fast Cam US 95 in Craig. Boy, we got both northbound and southbound restrictions here. Got 18 months of work coming up. It's the widening from 6 to 8 lanes of that section of northwest corridor of 95. No problems here. 215 in Sunset, light, free-flowing, moving in the 60s as an average speed. Do want to point out Airport Connector, again, as you move through northbound overnight, 7 p.m. to 5 a.m., you do have restrictions tonight and tomorrow night with some great information about rebates. Over to Sherry.
All right, Wednesday morning, 6:31. Everyone's heading out the door to work or school. How are roads looking, Brian?
This is our congestion point. This is when we start to see some delays. Nothing major yet. Ken's up in Chopper 8 at 215 and I-15. It just seems like so much of what we focus on is construction right now, Ken, in what is really the summer of construction.
It is the summer of construction, and it'll be the winter of construction, the fall, the spring, at least on this particular project here where 215 and I-15 come together. Matter of fact, even a bigger amounts of construction is going to be kicking into high gear coming this fall. Wait till next month. We'll be talking about endless lane and road closures up and down 215 and here at I-15, so just bear that in mind. And by the way, when I was over Silverado Ranch a little bit earlier at Spencer and Serene, I was checking out the band here, and check these folks out already up here bright and early in the morning with their trumpets and flutes and everything else out here, getting ready probably for one of the first football games. And even the flag twirlers were over here doing their thing, doing their practice this morning. One of them was a little bit off on their coordination, Brian. I was noticing that, but most of them were doing a pretty good job. We'll send it back to you.
Hey, Ken, Melissa rocked out in her high school band. Did you do the same when you were back in high school?
I played the clarinet in high school. I was terrible. I dropped out of the class, actually.
Oh, it's a war. It's a war. Clarinet wars, Ken. That's what I played too.
During the meeting today, it's going to be Ken versus Melissa on the clarinet, Ken. Come prepared. Okay.
Melissa would win hands down, trust me.
You're being humble. Looking at what else is going on. We're moving to US 95 and Rainbow Curve. This is actually our B of A Skycam. Dean has given us kind of a cool shot of traffic moving around the curve at a good speed as they head towards I-15, towards the Spaghetti Bowl. That travel time right now is going to take them about 6 minutes. This is just west of Ken's location up in Chopper 8, 215 in Decatur, about a half mile from I-15, zipping along in both eastbound and westbound direction, and I-15 in Washington is just fine. Keep your eye out for 4 new dynamic message signs in this area, giving you a heads up about your commute. Sherry.
Hey, Ken needs to give those flag twirlers a break. I spent many mornings on the football field twirling a baton. It's not easy at 6 a.m., let me tell you. Fingers are not so nimble at that early hour. So, all righty, we've got beautiful sunshine out there, though. That sun is finally up, popped over the horizon. Gorgeous clear skies. High pressure will start to warm us up this week. Mornings still very, very comfortable and below normal for just about all neighborhoods. Instead of mid to upper 70s, we've got low 70s and even some very nice 60s. We'll look for some light southerly breezes today and upper 90s. And early next week. Brian standing there with an unusual...
It's a guidepost.
Yeah, oh, that's what it is.
I thought maybe you wanted to relive your glory days as a majorette. Just start flipping these things around. Just think about it.
Look at you.
Not bad, huh?
Drum major, go.
Some training there.
Yeah,
Ken's
practice.
up at Chopper 8 at Okie and Torrey Pines. He played clarinet in the high school band. Ken?
That's right. I'm up here twirling away. We're over Bonanza High School now, just kind of watching the different high schools and some of the traffic patterns. And remember, school zones are at 15 miles an hour. Been kind of pounding on that all week. And we're right around Delray and Redwood, which is going to be right next to Bonanza High School at this intersection. A lot of kids heading to class this morning and a lot of car traffic. We haven't seen Metro out here picking on this high school this morning and some of the drivers around the surrounding area. But make sure to slow her down. You just never know where Metro is going to decide to do some serious speed and also crosswalk enforcement in this area. And no twirlers down here at the football field at Bonanza, unlike Silverado High School. Very quiet down here this morning. No early risers doing the twirly thing. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you so much, Ken, and great points you're making. Remember, if they're in the crosswalk, you must yield to those pedestrians. If this is you tonight heading towards the airport connector, 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. tonight and tomorrow night, there will be some road closures just north of the tunnel. You can still get north to Tropicana. It's going to take you a little bit longer. First fast cam right now is, or excuse me, Skycam is moving around the Charleston curve. You're fine moving eastbound or westbound or north and south, as some would say. And US 95 and MLK moving away from I-15, no issues. Good travel times on the dynamic message sign. Not the case as you're heading towards I-15. Delays in from Rancho. Once you get on I-15, you pick back up north of Charleston as you're heading southbound. We'll go over to Melissa now.
All right, thanks, Brian.
We're going to take a live look, guys, at US 95 and MLK. You have two different stories here. Traffic moving away from the Spaghetti Bowl on I-15, as you can see, is zipping along with travel times to Jones in just about 4 or 5 minutes. Traffic moving towards I-15 is in the opposite of that. You have slow and go in from Rancho towards I-15, and then once you get on Interstate 15, slow to just north of Charleston.
All right.